Well, J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards were back together for the first time together in the backfield since 2020, and they combined for 186 yards rushing. Nothing fancy about the running game against a Steeler team that is very familiar with one another. It was just great execution and great effort. Let's look at the tape and you'll see what I'm talking about. In this first play, this is as simple as a screwdriver, with the Ravens running a straight ISO play right up the middle of the defense, and it was an 8-man front, which is noteworthy. This is designed specifically to stop these types of runs. On the backside, you can see Moses, Oliver, and Andrews do a great job of walling off that 8th man, that side of the 8-man front. Then Linderbaum and Cleveland get a great push on the interior, with Linderbaum working up to the second level. Card stones the linebacker when he comes blitzing through the A-gap. And J.K., he takes off like it's a 100-yard dash. He didn't even have to make a cut. He just took off, got to the second level, bent to the right, and for a 44-yard gain. Just a straightforward, great run. Now let's look at the touchdown. Here's J.K. He shows great patience on the goal line, waiting for everyone to engage in their blocks. The interior line does a great job getting push on the interior of the Steelers' defensive line. Watch Patrick Ricard start with the down block, then comes off at the last minute to account for the safety. J.K. is very, very patient, waiting for all this to happen. Then on contact, he keeps his legs churning, and he pushes it in for the score. On the next play here, we can see Gus Edwards run. This is the exact same play we looked at to start this session, the 44-yarder from J.K. Dobbins. This is only a 7-man front, and they crash the defensive end to disrupt the play. So what does Ricard do? He does a great job of picking up that crashing end while Andrews turns and just walls off the linebacker. They're now a man short, and Edwards, rather than the downhill run like we saw Dobbins do, he bounces it to the outside because of the stunt of the defensive end. And he does a great job. The safety gets sucked in because of the downhill action, and he gets to the outside for a 16-yard gain. Now we're going to see one of the patented Ravens counter plays that they're so good at. Powers and Stanley are pulling from the backside. Moses and Ricard, again, do a great job sealing down the defense at the point of attack while the pullers pull around and create the lane. Again, I want you to watch how J.K. does a great job of waiting out and waiting for the lane to declare itself. Once he does that, he comes through the lane, follows his blocks, gets into the second level, does a nice little jump cut for the extra yards. Here on this play, it's just a simple stretch zone, but J.K. shows his ability. A good stretch zone runner knows to stretch and then gets one cut and moves upfield. The offensive line and the tight ends do a great job of a hat on a hat. Everybody's engaged. I want you to watch the footwork of J.K. He takes that lateral stretch step, aiming for the inside hip of the tight end. Then he takes his single cut, again, kind of jumps back into it against the flow of the defense and gets a solid 14-yard gain. Now, we've got to go to the two key runs. This was to put the game away. Obviously, with the quarterback situation, the Steelers know they were going to run the ball. They just wanted the ball back, one more possession. These were two key plays to finish off the game. This is, again, a simple counter play like we saw earlier. This time, Cologne and Moses are doing the puller. Okay, the defense slants down, so the pullers, rather than creating the lane that we saw earlier, they actually log the defense and they create the lane to the outside. Edwards sees this, again, very patient like Dobbins, sees that the lane is not going to be inside, follows the pullers to the outside, gets to the outside of the defense for a big 6-yard gain on a first down play. And now here on the 3rd and 3, they need to obviously convert against a stacked box. This was a great design by Greg Roman at a critical time of the game against an 8-man front. We've already seen a couple counters, but now they're going to see this a little bit differently. You're going to see the jet motion of Duvernay. They're going to pull just the one guard in Powers on the backside. The pulling action of Duvernay actually loosens the defense, and he actually becomes the second puller. Edwards takes a counter step to hold the linebackers, then finds that lane, gets downhill, and then in very physical fashion plows ahead for a 6-yard gain on a 3rd and 3. This sealed the game, and obviously the Steelers were done at that point. The Ravens have to go on the road again, this time to Cleveland, to take on Deshaun Watson and a new offense, and the status of the quarterback situation is unclear. Looks like very much it should be the same game plan that they had against the Steelers. They only threw it 17 times, but they ran it 42 times for 212 yards.